All right, so today we're going to do an experiment. We're testing the Calibre next to the PNOE, so that's two different Met carts. We're just going to see which one we think is more consistent and more accurate. We're going to compare it to doing a calculation based on wattage, height, etc. For how much oxygen we should be using. So test is 5 minutes at a 5-minute pace, so 1 kilometer. We're going to do that with me, Kate, and Vinny. Unfortunately, we've ran into a pretty common error with this. I'm having to restart it.
So do you want to explain the test that we did recently, guys?
Yeah, so the test was a 5-minute run at a 5K pace, so that's 12K an hour. We all did that. I think Kate did 11K, so that was 5.5. We then sort of punched those numbers in and we got our predicted oxygen consumption given our body weight at those. And then we also compared that prediction to both of these devices. As you can see, they're pretty different. So
yeah, we can see like how Calibre, it's like a simple machine, a simple equipment, let's say.
Yeah.
And like you can see PNOE, you have big battery, you need to connect with like a power bank. You have the sensor, big sensor here, like we have a small sensor.
Yeah.
The idea, like after James was testing for all of us, we checked like you find like they're like a similar prediction for the VO2 max now.
So like we weren't testing VO2 max, obviously, we're just testing it compared to what we predict, and like they both gave pretty similar results, right? So all the guys were consuming about 3 liters of oxygen or just over, and Kate was doing about just over 2, which you'd kind of expect at that pace with our body weight. The one thing I would say is I was actually really impressed with the Calibre, or maybe a little disappointed with the PNOE, is that when Kate and Vinny did it, they got this huge spike to like 4.4 liters when they first started running, and then it kind of settled down into their baseline. Like we didn't get that with the Calibre. So let's see some other issues with this. I think Vinny said, I'll cut to that clip of Vinny right after he did it.
Running with the PNOE mask can be difficult because it's a lot chunkier and it sort of throws you off a little bit when you're running.
But the mask on this is pretty chunky.
Yes,
that is a pretty big thing to have hanging off your face. And it sort of bounces around on you. I felt like when I was doing it, it sort of makes me want to look down, because when it's sticking straight out, it's like, this big thing like hanging off the front of your face. And obviously that was like, it's much more streamlined. Obviously this has got way more wires and stuff hanging out.
And it's heavier also, like something in your back. I realized when like we tested more than hundreds of clients with this.
Yeah.
Sometimes we get some issues when the client like running fast. So
yeah,
this is like go fast. Like it's not very secure.
Yeah. So it's funny you bring that up actually, because on my test, that actually did come out, and we get that flat line.
And it's really like failures or like Bluetooth issues, I remember, something like this.
Like,
and to calibrate this sometimes take a lot of time. You need to do like different stage. Maybe you'll see in the video. It's not like just that. And but this one, how long will it take for calibration?
Like the calibration takes about 30 seconds, and then like the PNOE's got an issue where it's got to double check the calibration, and it can be anywhere from like 30 seconds up to like 2 minutes, and then you got to do that twice. So when we're working with clients, that sort of impacts the flow. You know what I mean? That gets sort of annoying. But this one, every single time, it's just hooked up perfectly with the heart rate monitor, everything, like zero fuss. You know, like you just click the button, it's on, and you hook up.
And so one thing I like that you can do different exercise with this. And last time I was talking to me and James, maybe we're gonna test a Hyrox, full Hyrox.
Yeah.
So be like waiting for the new one now, because we're gonna try to make a full Hyrox to check in. So it will give us a good reading, but with this, it will be very challenging for me to do. Like, you know what I mean? Like
you put it in the backpack,
to sled push, to do all of this, and you have backpack, big battery, and I don't believe that this will be like very secure.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But let's try. But the idea, like, two of them give you a metric. How much does this cost?
So this one is about $10,000, which is pretty pricey. And then on top of that, you have to service it every year, and that costs, I think, $1,500. It might be cheaper, but we've got to ship it to Greece. And then last time we did that, it got held up in customs, and I think we didn't have it for 2 months before we got it back.
More. I think something like that. And this one, how much?
This one's $500. The fact that they give even remotely comparable results is insane. I'm really, really impressed with that. Like, so I bought that as a personal device just because it's sort of within my price range. And having tested the two side by side, if anything, it's giving slightly better results.
And give you a live report in the iPad.
Yeah. So I will say the one thing that a PNOE does is that you can get like the full reports from it, right? Luckily for us here, we've got spreadsheets that sort of auto-generate those reports. We started doing that a while ago because the reports would sometimes take a couple days to come back, and we'd have to move through faster with clients. So we sort of built our own templates, our own spreadsheets. And so that fit in with that.
You can get the result very fast. And also, like, what the main purpose of all of this, to find like the baseline of the client. So it doesn't matter all these details if you are thinking to go like, you want to improve your VO2 max, or you want to know where your threshold. So I found this is like very effective because it's give you this type. You don't need all this too much information. I mean, it's sometimes good, but if like in some special case. But for like longevity, for someone who's doing, you know, like today, longevity, like VO2 max is one of the most strong indicator of your longevity, no?
So I would say that the PNOE does a good job in its charts where it'll give you VO2 and VCO2 together. So it's easy to determine like training zones. Weirdly, the Calibre, it can measure VCO2. But in the app right now, it doesn't display that, which is like annoying. Like, you can go in and download the log files and it's there, it's measuring it. In the old app, it would, you know, and it would show you a fat percentage and stuff like that. I don't know why on the new one they haven't. So I guess I'll be in touch with them and see if they can get that update coming.
I think like, as like the most important thing to have a baseline where your VO2 max today, and after to improve. So you don't need to pay, I think, $10,000 to have it.
It's kind of incredible. I guess also, I'm not sure when this device was designed, but definitely pre-2010, I think.
They didn't make any new improve. Like today, you see like a lot of small sensors now they are making. Like, I don't understand why PNOE they didn't make because
an updated model. maybe,
and the battery
maybe
is very big, battery and all of this stuff.
Yeah,
like,
so
look how it's simple.
with the battery on this, I mean, the way this works is essentially it's got like a fan that spins in there, and then you're measuring the speed of the fan, and it's also got oxygen sensors and CO2 sensors, and it's pretty chunky bit of kit. You got to have an external battery, because the battery, when you unplug it, lasts for maybe a minute. You know, it's you can't rely on that. It's got to be plugged in. The fact that they get the battery and everything in that, and even just that, has a longer battery life than this, which is kind of nuts. I think they say you can get about 3 hours out of that.
Wow.
Which is like, again, it sort of really opens it up to like a lot of activities. Let's see, anything else?
Cool.
So in terms of why one device is better than the other, would you say it's mainly the comfortability of the PNOE mask that beats the Calibre?
I would say you get a better seal on this, you get the reports, and you get that VCO2 as well, like easily accessible on the graph. But the data is there, and I'd say this thing actually measures, I would say, more accurately than
I mean, for the price wise, like, it's very good. That's what we try to compare. Price wise, like, comfortable with, or like easiest to assess for the client, and time wise, I think this will win. For like more, let's say, professional, very detailed stuff, even like
that, like it's just as accurate, if not more accurate. Like
and so still, like, they're new. I believe they will have a lot of update on it. It's 2010 till now. Like, I like, to be like fair, I just 4 years now we try this. I don't know before how it was, but from 4 years till now, I didn't find like
no updates.
I don't know. James was always in touch with them because we have some. But for this, still new, sensor accurate. James is testing more than me, but I tested today, and I feel comfortable, and like, it's lightweight.
The Calibre came out this year, right? This year or last year?
I think last year. It's pretty recent. Like maybe even 3 years ago, but you know what I mean. Like, it wasn't on my radar.
And I would like if they have something, because you know, you sanitizing wise, like, you need to sanitize.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So if they have, let's say, an offer, or they give like 4 or 5 like this, so it's easy to don't let the client wait, or because like you remove the sensor, and you need to sanitize, need like 5 to 10 minutes, and after you put it on.
So to get this off, you've really got to like crack it off. Like I can do it. Like Kate can't do it. Right? It's too stiff. And then if you want to recalibrate between clients, you got to pull off this back piece, and then like air it out. It does also have the option to just not calibrate. So, but we tend to want to do that in here because we have the hyperbaric chambers and the altitude training and stuff. So.
We have changing.
So it can sort of change on us pretty quick. But in general, I'm super impressed with this thing. I'm surprised at how good it is at that price point. I think that's sort of the...
Wait for us for the new video where James will testing this with me when we are doing a Hyrox. And we show the data. And we will not try with PNOE because we know that will not work. Sorry, PNOE, but we're just saying what we are testing.
All right, that's it.
Thank you.